So this week I was scrolling through social media and I came across a post that goes like this: strong minds suffer without complaining, while weak minds complain without the suffering. And I'm gonna be honest, when I heard this post, I initially saved it because I wanted to actually go through the post again and kind of like go through what it actually means, because I understood that it had it had a deep meaning behind it. So I didn't want to kind of like just keep scrolling and disregarding it. And that's what I did. And I wrote it down in this diary here. And I also wrote down a few points of what I think, like what the outcomes of the quote is, basically. So let me read this again. Strong minds suffer without complaining, while weak minds complain without suffering. It's a good post. It's a good quote. And if not mistaken, I saw this post on one of the, I believe it's like a stoic page. Yeah, something like that. So let's go through the first part. Strong minds suffer without complaining. And to be honest, the first point that I wrote down on this notebook here, obviously everyone suffers in life. Now, my suffering will be different than your suffering, but we all go through similar experiences at different times in our lives. We all go through hardships, heartbreaks. We all experience loss. We all experience some kind of traumas in life, and basically we all suffer from some kind of pain, or whatever. So in reality, the suffer is inevitable. We all suffer, every one of us. And basically, when we go through a certain experience, let's say you go through a hardship or you go through a loss, when we suffer, we tend to change the perspective of life. So when we are going through a negative part in our life, a negative phase, the perspective of life is very negative, typically. Regardless if you're a very positive person on a normal day, when we are experiencing rough times, the perspective changes. So how do we change the response to life? So let's say you lost someone close to your heart, and the reason is that obviously that pain has to go somewhere. You have to process the pain and the suffering that comes with the pain. And we all have to look at life from a perspective that these hard times make us stronger. So these experiences make us who we are. They shape our future and they shape how we think in the future. So the response of the suffering distinguishes the strong from the weak. The way we react to the suffering will distinguish if we are weak or strong. Someone that just goes through a hardship, a loss, or whatever, and take the downward path and keeps on going in a spiral wave without even trying, he's weak. So And this is typically a person that starts to complain about everything. And you normally we all have these types of peoples in our life where these persons just complain about everything. So, and the thing is that each day you're gonna have shit that does not go your way. So things will go wrong. And normally, as they say, when it rains it pours. So if you something wrong happens and another thing happens, be prepared for something else to happen. So, but goes the same way when it comes to blessings. When we are blessed with something that comes our way, I don't know, you get a job offer, you get accepted for a job, or your business signs the first contract, or whatever, it typically is a momentum, the start of a momentum. So the truth is that this is going to happen regardless of who you are at some point in your life. So, and this saying is basically saying to endure life with grace. We have to be positive with what we have. We have to be grateful. So when I wake up in the morning, as difficult as sometimes this can be, when I go for a run at 5 a.m., it's nicer to stay in bed and sleep. But we have to push ourselves to achieve greatness. And in reality is each and every one of us that is blessed enough to wake up in the morning from bed and gets going with their life should be grateful. There are people that don't make it through the night, and they went to sleep the night before not knowing that they're not gonna wake up. So we have to be grateful for the small things, and let this be a reminder to be grateful for your supportive friends, family, health, something that we really take for granted nowadays, that you have a roof on top of your head or you have a bed to sleep on. Sometimes we get so lost in our own word that we forget that these things that we have, not everyone does. Not everyone has a roof on top of their head. Not everyone is in good health. Not everyone gets to go to a job, gets to get the salary at the end of the month, gets a loving partner, a loving friend, a loving family member. So, yeah, I mean, something that I've been really trying to work on in the last few months is show gratitude each and every day. And sometimes this can be very challenging, especially when you're going through a rough patch in life. It's very difficult to be grateful for what we have. But that is when you should ground yourself and think on a deeper level what you've been blessed with. Yes, we all have things that are going wrong right now. Yes, we all go through losses, whatever. But this is part of life. It's part of the journey. And these are the experiences that teach you the most in life. And I can tell you from personal experience, going through a loved one's loss can be difficult. It is difficult, and it takes time to process. And truthfully speaking, the wound never heals. So it is something that you have to learn how to live with. But that experience, going through such an experience in life, will obviously change your perspective on how you look at things. And yeah, I mean, it's crazy how we as humans take everything for granted. So this is basically the thought behind this quote, and I'm gonna read it one last time. So basically, we have strong minds suffer without complaining, while weak minds complain without suffering. And I want you to take away from this video which part of which person are you. So yeah, I mean, this quote got me thinking quite on a deeper level, so I thought, like, why not make a video of it. And there are a few other quotes that I was reading through this week, and one of them being, apologies for the noise outside, one of them being from Chris William: "The magic we look for isn't the work we're avoiding." The magic we look for isn't the work we're avoiding. So, and it's another very powerful quote. And yeah, I mean, and like, for example, if you are aspiring to do something, normally the result lies in the actions you need to take. So that's where you find the result. And also, like, another quote is, "The price of progress is pain." Now this is from, I think it was a reel from Luke Belmar. I'm sure you guys know who he is. The price of progress is pain. Now, this is the same concept that can be linked to life. When you have when you want to, for example, let's take this example. You go to the gym to get better and fitter. Now imagine, do you ever hear someone telling you, you go to the gym, or someone who is a bodybuilder, does he ever tell you he got where he is in life without the pain? The pain creates the person you are. So the same way that a bodybuilder goes to the gym, suffers through the progression and the fitness progression, and then people look at the results, like, you whatever, the same can be applied to life itself. I mean, if you are starting a business out, you're going to expect that you go through mental health issues or mental suffering, and it's part of the process. And this is what builds up your future capabilities, and most of the time people will only get to see the results. So for anyone that is, as everyone knows, that if you're starting a business out, if you are training in the gym, some kind of pain is expected. So you cannot expect the results without going through the pain. And it's a very good point, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, life can be very difficult. It can. But what matters the most is how we play our cards, the cards that we have in our hand. So when we go through a hardship, instead of complaining about it and just be sad forever, be grateful that you are going through that storm, because that storm will make you a better sailor once you come out of it. And I have this saying, I like to say, we all are given the same cards, more or less. The winners are the people that know how to play the cards the best. So use the pain to fuel your progress. And that is basically the last thought of this very short video that I thought about making. I mean, it's a different style of content, but it is something that I wanted to share with you. And I want to share value and give you value. So basically, just a few minutes of content can really inspire you to change your life. So I want you to take out of this, go back, replay the video, write down the quote, and write down what it means for you. And sometimes you need to ground yourself and say, I'm not being grateful at the moment. I need to be grateful for what I have. And write things that you need to be grateful for, or things that you are taking for granted. And I'm 100% sure that almost each and every one of us has things that they take for granted. So this would be a good exercise to kind of like understand yourself on a deeper level and live with gratitude and be grateful for what you have in a world that is very negative. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and if you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also share it with someone that you might think that can find this content useful, or save it for when you need it later, so you can pretty much go through it again, and it kind of can serve as a reminder. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.